People are like, when are you going to get a real job? Aren't you done playing around? I'm not done, Bob. I'm not going back ever. I don't want your lifestyle, so I ain't taking your advice. Maybe you are highly educated and you want to do something that is kind of a contrast to that, and you want the freedom and you feel this burning fire in you, and you have to go from here to here. You have to go through so many fears, like fear of being rejected by your old community, fear of being seen by the old fucking community, fear of being seen while trying. And it's so many things we have to overcome in order to even dare to be soul aligned. And when we are soul aligned, we are open to see our purpose, to actually believe in the purpose, believe that we are capable. And when we are soul aligned and have found our purpose, that's the place we start our business. And that's how we create freedom. I think what these people don't understand is that this is a fucking life commitment. It's not just playing around and see what sticks. There are plenty of things I'd rather do than go back to a 9-to-5 job. Unless I'm doing that to fund my dream. And we're going to get into that. And first I want to talk a little bit about how the 9-to-5 system can set you up. It's like a trap that sucks you in, and the longer you're there, the harder it becomes to get out of that system. Maybe the last time you were free was when you were in high school, and maybe you took some years off to travel, and you had dreams and you were like alive, but now you don't feel as alive anymore. And I believe that, we are that alive, and then we do what's reasonable, what's expected of us, and choose a realistic career path, which is engineering or lawyer stuff or something boring. And we do that and we study really hard, and maybe we have a lot of fun because studying is kind of free as well, because you can self-express. You're doing a lot of fun activities with your friends. And then we get into a job that completely changes the world, because we are introduced in a corporate world that is like so fucking boring. And you're like, is this it? Is this what I'm going to talk about in the coffee breaks for the rest of my life? And somewhere there, you start dreaming about a different life. You start dreaming about freedom. You hear about these digital nomads, and you are like, what if I could work at Bali from my laptop and, be location free and be my own boss? And being in the corporate world, you are so conditioned to just follow order. Be effective, follow order, which means that you have zero trust, maybe, in your intuition. But let me just say this, us women, our intuition is so fucking strong, and deep down that if you trust your intuition, you will come to the right place. So I feel like you just need to find courage and overcome certain fears and limiting beliefs, but that the freedom path is your way. I believe that hard work and being able to manage stress very well is so glorified in the corporate world, but the fucking thing is that stress is poison. And the sooner we realize that stress is poison, the less we want to be able to handle it. And the reason why, being able to handle stress and being effective and hardworking is so glorified is because it benefits the company. And it's almost like rest is punished, or, being balanced is punished in a way, is looked down upon, which leads you to become exhausted. And when we get into this vicious cycle of, being depleted in energy, in time and all that, we tend to lean more towards distraction, like scrolling, shopping, drinking, you name it. Things that distract us and numb the soul's desire to do something more. So when we don't listen inward, we need distraction to be able to handle that. Okay, my love, you might have heard that it's safer to have a job, it's safer to have an employment than to run your own business. But the thing is that it's not safer. You can imagine, like, this is reality. When you work for someone else, you can pour your heart and fucking soul and put your health on the line to make someone else rich, to grow their company, but they can at any point say that you're not valuable, or just get rid of you. Even it doesn't matter how much you poured into it, how much revenue you've helped them generate. They can say like, oh, we're restructuring. Even in Sweden, Sweden is a country that is considered, it's hard to fire someone. But to be honest, if you just say like, either say that you don't have enough workload to justify the person being employed, or if you say that we're restructuring the company, they can fire you on the fucking day. How is that not risky? I think it's so important to know that employers don't really care about you. They will do what they have to do to follow the law, to take care of you. But the moment you are no longer valuable to them, they will try to get rid of you. That's reality. And everyone is replaceable. A manager of mine told me once that it's actually a bad idea for a business to make people irreplaceable, because then you are super dependent on them. So the company will try to make you not irreplaceable, because that is more stable for the company. So the whole purpose of a company is to maximize revenue, but also do what's best for the company, not what's best for you. And being an employee is also you trading your time for money, which is not the best way to build wealth. Does this mean that I hate companies and think that they are the villains of the world? Absolutely not. I love companies. I am an entrepreneur at heart. Like, I do not hate businesses. I actually love every single part of a business, sales, marketing, funnels. I love, making something. I love the creative freedom. So I absolutely have nothing against building companies or what they do. But the danger is when someone believes that it's safer to be employed, and when someone feels like they will take care of me and my efforts will be rewarded accordingly. And maybe they will, but just know that it's not that. They can get rid of you at any fucking point. And it's also a transaction. You're a tool for them to make more money. What I'm saying is, don't devote your life to a company. Don't give your health away. Don't throw your dreams away because they aren't realistic. And don't devote your life to a company just because you feel like, oh, that's realistic. Oh, I have to do that because it's the safest option. Because in reality, it isn't that safe. So you might think that you're doing the right thing, but you might be doing yourself a disservice. That's all I'm saying. It's just a mindset shift. So it's not to villainize companies, it's just to understand their whole purpose and then see, okay, how can I relate to that? I believe that having a job has its place. You can have a job while you build your dream on the side. That's amazing. Or you can have a job to build up savings so that you can quit your job and be more free, or to invest in a business. That's amazing. Or you can use it to learn a skill in that job that you will use then in your own business. So it's not that, having a job is that a horrible experience or has to be horrible. There are amazing employers out there taking really good care of their employees. But in the end of the day, companies are there to maximize revenue, and they will do what they have to do to take care of you according to the law. And you can have a lovely mutual exchange. And we just have to shift the mindset of what is an employer in my life and how can I use that to create a good exchange. In my case, I used to be an engineer, and I had a really terrible experience as a job. And it started out well, it was amazing in the beginning, but then I had a really bad experience with a colleague for 8 months, and it ended with me getting burnt out and going on sick leave. And the same people that used to be like pouring into me and be like so supportive, as soon as I started functioning, they pulled away the resources for me. They did what they had to do to take care of me legally, but it was very evident that as soon as I lost my ability to be the resource for them, that wasn't valuable anymore. And they, it was just a cost for them. And to be fair, that's how businesses are. Even if they created the environment that made someone sick, they don't really care. So I feel like what I learned from that is that I always have the responsibility over my health. I need to learn to set boundaries. I need to take responsibility over my stress levels, I cannot blame that on a manager or a job because they don't care. And no one will thank you when you burn out or get disabled from, being a fucking machine. They won't. They will just throw you away and hire someone else. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And I've also been at another job where they just fired people left and right. Here in Sweden, just by saying like, we're doing a restructure, so your competence isn't needed anymore. It's not as safe as they want it to seem. And it wasn't until I burnt out and went on sick leave that I quit my job and bought a one way ticket to Thailand that I met people who lived a different lifestyle. The digital nomads that have found different ways to fucking live. And I was so inspired. So fucking inspired. And I was like, I want this freedom. And they were like sunbathing and being on their laptop. And I was like, how do you fucking do it? I have to live that way. I do not want to live corporate. And, I was like, and I realized it was a really painful journey, but I realized after a while that I'm a creative being. I am spiritual. I want to craft things. I don't want to be a soldier being told what to do. Live a fucking soul-sucking life. Like, I'm willing to work in a fucking cafe if that gives me freedom. I'm willing to work in customer service if that gives me freedom that the corporate world cannot give me, while I build my own thing. That's important. And I realized along the path that freedom wasn't enough. And I realized that through starting a business that was not soul aligned. And I was like, fucking hell, here I am sitting with a product that I don't even like, with, interacting with customers that care more about the product than me. And my whole life evolved around a product that I hated. I thought that, the business structure that would give me freedom would be enough. But I realized like, okay, for me personally, I need to have soul. My next business has to have heart. And when you start thinking about aligning yourself from being a fucking engineer to being a unicorn, I had to overcome so many limiting beliefs. And I believe that's the case for you as well. Maybe you are highly educated and you want to do something that is kind of a contrast to that, and you want the freedom and you feel this burning fire in you, and you have to go from here to here. You have to go through so many fears, like fear of being rejected by your old community, fear of being seen by the old fucking community, fear of being seen while trying. And it's so many things we have to overcome in order to even dare to be soul aligned. And when we are soul aligned, we are open to see our purpose, to actually believe in the purpose, believe that we are capable. And when we are soul aligned and have found our purpose, that's the place we start our business. And that's how we create freedom. Or it's from that space that we create freedom. So if you are like me, someone who loves freedom, craves freedom, want to be location free, be your own boss, and want to do it from heart, you're more than welcome to subscribe to my newsletter, where I share my best tips on how to overcome these limiting beliefs. And we get to hang out, you and me. Maybe we can hang out in Bali someday. Think about that. Maybe I will do a retreat where you are invited. That would be so fucking awesome. That would be so fucking awesome. Imagine gathering people who feel like unicorns, and people who have dreams, and people who want to build businesses, and not just do the fucking soul-sucking norm, and we gather together in a retreat somewhere in the world, somewhere warm. I can't stand cold, but somewhere warm. And we just do workshops, and we find the juiciness in you and bring out the fucking genius in you. You're not here to have your dreams washed away. We're not doing that. Okay, so subscribe to my newsletter. We will get you through those limiting beliefs into your purpose and get you going. Okay? Sounds good? Right, let's go.